Hi class, welcome to your second to last lesson of the fraction units. This is going to be division with fractions. I promise it'll be a nice quick one. Please give me all of your attention. Let's talk real quick about the things you're going to need to know. You need to know fraction vocabulary, basic skills, prime factorization, greatest common factor, things like that for reducing your answers, equivalent fractions and simplifying for, again, reducing your answers, mixed numbers and improper fractions to change them back and forth, and you'll see why in a second. Rewriting fractions, reciprocals, and finally multiplication, because we're going to be doing some of that today, believe it or not. Okay. You care because this has so many uses in geometry, okay, like area and volume equations, and it's also going to be like 8th grade math and high school math, even though you're only in 6th grade, for solving algebraic equations and formulas. It's really easy to do that once you know how to divide with fractions. So goals for this lesson: we're going to learn how to divide with fractions, and we're going to review how to super simplify, like from the mathematics video. And to help you guys review, we're going to use a little review of whole number normal division. Now, I want you to relate whole number division to fraction division, and this is how we're going to do it. I have 4, right, and I'm going to divide it by 2. Okay, you guys know that 4 divided by 2 is 2. I don't have to tell you that. You know that. And the reason that is because when you're dividing when you're dividing in general, you're breaking a number up into equal groups with a specific number in each group. In this case, we want to break this 4 into groups of 2. So right here, I'm going to have a group of 1, 2, so that's going to give me 1. And then right next to it, I'm going to have another group of 1, 2. Very good. Makes total sense, right? Now let's look at the same problem, but instead of a divisor of 2, we're going to have a divisor of 1/2. Interesting. So as I get my circles up here, remember now, we're not trying to break it up into groups of 2, we're trying to break it up into groups of half. So in order to do that, we need to cut our circles in half, okay? So we just want a group of half. Now, this is a half, that's a half, that's a half, that's a, okay, we get it. So that means we have one group of halves right there, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups of a half, 6 groups of a half, 7 groups of a half, and 8 groups of a half. So 4 divided by 1/2 is 8. Look at that, okay? Now that you've seen that, you can kind of see if you're dividing by a number smaller than 0, your answer is going to get bigger than it started, okay? I'm sorry, if you're dividing by an answer smaller than 1. If you're dividing by an answer smaller than 1, you're going to get a larger number. Very good. Now let's move on. You've seen it work with pictures. You can kind of understand it. Now let's look at how it works with the actual math. We're going to do that same problem, okay? And I want you to remember here, you have 4 divided by 1/2. But remember that a fraction bar is actually just kind of like a division sign. It's just a division problem right there. All right, we've got division going on. So, great. What are we going to do with this? Well, I'm going to tell you that before we start, everything for division, just like multiplication, needs to be a mixed number. Or no, I'm sorry, it has to be an improper fraction or a fraction. You cannot use mixed numbers. You cannot use whole numbers. So we're going to make our 4 into an improper fraction by putting the 1 underneath. And we're going to divide by 1/2. Now, this is where the reciprocal comes in. We've shown with the reciprocal that the reciprocal of 1/2 is 2, because if you multiply 1/2 and 2 together, you get 1, okay? When you're dividing with fractions, it's the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So this is going to be kind of hard. So what we're going to do is rewrite it as 4/1 times the reciprocal 2/1. Multiply straight across, just like you learned in your last lesson, lesson 12. 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. And you have 8 divided by 1 equals 8. Just like we got in our example over there. Very good job. Put that out of the way. Next, we're just going to do another problem real quick. All right? We have 4/7 divided by 2/3. Now, remember, our 2/3 is less than 1, so our answer is going to get a little bit bigger than 4/7. Let's look at it. Remember, we need to rewrite it with the reciprocal. So instead of 4/7 divided by 2/3, we're going to do 4/7 times 3/2. Okay? 4 times 3, straight across, 12. 7 times 2, excuse me, is 14. We need to reduce it. Your greatest common factor is 2 divided by 2 over 2. It's going to give you 6/7. And sure enough, our answer is just a little bit larger than it was before. Instead of only 4 out of 7 parts, now we have 6 out of 7 parts. Okay? Now I'm going to review this same problem. We're going to write it all the way over again because we're going to practice our super reducing. Okay? Reducing before we multiply. So 4/7 times 3/2. Now, I know that 4 and 2 have a common factor of 2. I can divide 4 by 2, cross it out, and keep a 2. And I know that I can divide 2 by 2, cross it out, and keep a 1. And now I'm just going to do my multiplication straight across. I'm going to do 2 times 3 gives me 6. 7 times 1 gives me 7. And I have that same 6/7 right there. Quick and easy. Okay? Let's say you have a mixed number here. Turn it into an improper fraction so that you can multiply straight across, okay? Any whole numbers or mixed numbers, turn them into improper fractions and go for it. Next up, we're going to slide down. We're going to do a little challenge problem. It's kind of hard to see. The Microsoft Word didn't print this off very nicely for me. So I'm just going to tell you that this is just a little line telling you that this is 25 feet tall right there, and that across the base of the house it's 25 feet as well. And the question is, how tall is the house? We know up to here it's 25, but we don't know up to there. How are we going to figure it out? Well, we're going to figure it out by this. I'm going to tell you that the area of this section is 100 square feet. Okay? And you guys from our last lesson worked with formulas for finding the area of triangles. So you know that the area of a triangle is area equals 1/2 times the base of the triangle right along there. I should do this in a different color for you. Right there. 1/2 times the base, and then times the height of the triangle. Height. All right. Well, we actually know 1/2. Okay. We know the area, so I'm going to fill that in. We have 100 is going to equal 1/2 of the base times the height. Okay. I know that the base is 25 because it's the same distance as down here. So now I can add that information in. 100 equals 1/2 times 25 times the height. And that's what we need to figure out, right? How tall? Okay. To undo multiplication, these all have to be multiplied together. To undo it, we need to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 25. 25 divided by 25 equals 1. So I can cross it out because anything times 1 stays the same. Okay? But 25 or 100 divided by 25 is 4. So now I have 4 equals 1/2 times the height. Very good. Well, I know that 4 equals 1/2 times the height, but I need to divide, right? Just like I divided both sides by 25, I need to divide both sides by 1/2. Well, to divide with fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal, okay? So we know that if we divide it by the same thing, it leaves. So now let's divide 4 by 1/2. Okay? We're going to bring this up. We're going to do 4 divided by 1/2. Remember I said, rewrite the problem. All whole numbers become improper fractions like that. Then instead of dividing, we multiply by the reciprocal. So move the 2 to the top, move the 1 to the bottom, multiply straight across. You're going to get 8 over 1 again. And 8 divided by 1 equals 8. So this little part of the house, that green portion, the height of this triangle is 8. 8 feet. So the 8 feet from there and the 25 feet from there is going to give us, how tall is the house? 33 feet tall. Okay? Don't worry, class, I'm not going to give you any problems like that. I just wanted to show you how you actually use that, okay, to figure out different problems going forward in your math careers. Thanks very much for tuning in. Good luck on your work.